But there's also a lot of issues that the system has, and a lot of that just kind of stems from no games. So we're gonna start with the...
1 year ago, about 2 weeks after I got the Switch, I originally made this video talking about my biggest problems with it. And the biggest problem that I had was lack of games to play, controller issues, minor quality stuff like that. That kind of worried me. Is the future of the Switch going to really, is it going to really pay off? Or are we going to have another Wii U on our hands? Well, it's a year later. I'm not using this crappy camera anymore. And obviously I've matured as a person a little bit, and I think Nintendo's matured as a company a little bit, or at least the Switch itself has matured as a product. So let's take a closer look at it. It's a year later. Is the Switch worth it yet?
So let's talk Switch. One of my favorite things about the system is the portable nature of it. I love the fact that I can sit on my couch, I can sit in a chair, I can sit in the car, and I can play full console quality games, whether that's games like Breath of the Wild, or Super Mario Odyssey, or even more advanced games like Skyrim or Doom. It blows me away how the full Doom experience is available on a portable system like the Switch. Granted, it's cut down, it runs at 30 FPS, it's got audio issues, the multiplayer kind of sucks. I could go down the list, but it's the full game. There's no compromises here, outside of performance compromises. And it's fantastic. The closest thing I can think of was not even the Vita, to be honest. I guess the Vita for some games like Final Fantasy X HD is pretty similar on the Vita and the PS4, but that's still a remaster. It's not really a bleh. Anyway, the PSP and the Vita, I guess, are the closest things that I can really think of, but even they don't really get the full experience because they are still gimping in some way. It just kind of blows me away that I, at any time, can pick up and hit a button and I'm playing the full version of Doom. I'm playing the full version of Skyrim. I'm playing Minecraft. I'm playing Super Mario Odyssey. I'm playing Stardew Valley. You know, like all of these games that are console games, really, in my hands. It's ridiculous. Now, that's not to say that the Switch doesn't have issues, which more and more are becoming apparent with each and every day I use the console, but my main gripe with it a year ago was the fact that there were no games. That's been fixed. But let's move into some of the things that, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed these, but these are actual real serious flaws with the actual hardware of the unit. Not really the experience, but in the actual physical build. First thing I'd like to point out is that the plastic that they use is pretty cheap. I'm not rough on my consoles. I'm really not. You can see I've got tons of stuff that's old. I generally take good care of my stuff. Check out my phones; they're in immaculate condition. The Switch is missing one screw on top. The corner right there near the power button's cracked. The corner near the fan is cracked. The kickstand doesn't stay in anymore. It also pops out a lot easier now, and sometimes it's harder to get it to pop back in. It doesn't pop like it used to anymore. There's even a screw missing on the bottom that I didn't notice until just now. And other minor build issues like the rubber tips on my Joy-Cons, they're gone. They just popped off in my pocket one day. I have no idea where they are. In fact, this entire Joy-Con unit actually completely came out. So now the down on this joypad's kind of fucked up. I'll splice in some video if I can get examples of it. And speaking of this Joy-Con as well, it pops out. Now you can, if you listen to it, see if I can kind of position it near the mic, you can still hear it pop. Like it's releasing and catching. It's just still popping out to where I don't have to hit the button anymore. The other one doesn't do it. Like, it doesn't do it, but like I barely touch it. And no, it's not because I changed the Joy-Con shells, because if you look at this clip right here of me trying it on the grip, it doesn't happen. It's just, that's kind of the stuff that really makes me nervous. The back is scratched up. It's kind of just falling apart at the seams. And I'm worried about the longevity of it. Like, legitimately, I'm thinking about getting a case for this thing just because I'm worried about how fragile it is And I'm not even like, I'm not that aggressive with it. Look, see, the freaking thing just fell off right here in my hand. They're all minor issues, yeah, and I can obviously solve this by buying a $6 kickstand or whatever. I hope they're cheap. The rubber tips here are a little bit harder to find. I'm mostly finding silicone caps that go on the original rubber. It's just stuff that shouldn't really be happening in a game console, especially a portable one. Especially when you consider it against other Nintendo portable consoles. Like, look, see, this is a Game Boy Advance SP that I actually bought off eBay not too long ago. I paid like, I think like 30 bucks for it, so it's not in the best condition. It's scratched up and everything, but all the buttons work. Things aren't falling out of it. The hinge is still solid. You know? Maybe if I could, there we go. Like, it's quality. This is not so far. It just kind of sucks, you know? I'm just worried about it long term. You know, in 3-4 years, is it really going to be? And another great example, actually, that I just now thought of is the wobble that's in the Joy-Cons. Because when I first bought it, for like the first few days or so, they were rock solid. But then by like day 5, they were already kind of loose, and now they're like, I can actually hear that Joy-Con pop when I twist it. That's not good. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on the system, because I do. I love my Switch. This is one of the best systems, if not the best system that Nintendo has come out with. It's just frustrating having such a great thing be so shoddily built, you know? It's like, I imagine this is how people felt with the whole iPhone bend gate fiasco, where they were just, you could just walk around a mall and your phone would bend, you know? It shouldn't be doing this. It's a $300 piece of plastic, but I don't know what I expect. I guess just comparing it to things like my Wii U, which was totally neglected, but it's still in pretty immaculate condition, or like this SP that's been abused, but it still is in mechanically perfectly working order. You know? That's the thing that's really the only gripe I have with it. Physically, you know, hardware-wise, build-wise. The other major issue I have with it is the lack of virtual console, and there's the lack of communication from Nintendo about this, really. There are some apps like, there's no Netflix, there's no YouTube, you can't access the web browser. Probably a good thing, though, because how many exploits keep coming out for it? Can we please stop using WebKit? It's so bad, it's basically Flash. But it's like, it's just, there's so much potential with the system because it's Tegra X1 based, you know, there's so much that you can do with it. Like, and you can't do simple things like YouTube, and like, if I want to listen to music on my Switch, I should be able to, because it's basically a tablet. It's not running FreeBSD, it's running this weird custom thing that Nintendo's made. But even with that said, where they have to kind of build everything, the Wii U had YouTube at launch, didn't it? I'm pretty sure it did. The 3DS got Netflix not too long after its launch. I remember watching on my OG 3DS, you know? And it's been a year, and they're kind of all still missing. Hulu is there, and there's that weird Japanese Mixer, not Mixer. There's that Japanese streaming service that's there. That's it. That's disappointing. The downloads can be a little quicker from the store, and that's basically it. It's all kind of nitpicky at that point. The UI leaves a lot to be desired with organization and everything, but I'm pretty sure that'll change with the Virtual Console, because if it doesn't, holy crap, you're never going to be able to find anything. Even something as simple as adopting the 3DS's system, where it's all grids that you can customize and add more. So instead of just showing, I don't know why I had my child's sock in my hand, instead of just showing 4 tiles, you can make it so 12, or you can make it show like 20, and then you're shifting through, you're shifting pages at a time instead of just one at a time, and you're shifting through 20 at a time, so it's easier to navigate. Can't do that on the Switch. It's just bleh. Until you go all the way past, like, what is it, like the most 15 recently played games, and then go to the list of all apps. then you can kind of sort through it, but even that's still kind of clunky. It's just, ugh, the whole thing's clunky. Really, all in all, I just wanted to make this video as a follow-up so that people realize that the landscape for the Switch has changed. It has developer support. It has amazing, wonderful, fun games. And it has that full experience that we haven't really had on a Nintendo console since, what, the GameCube? Because the Wii had mostly shovelware and the Wii U was, you know, nothing. It's great. I love playing Skyrim on my couch, or I love playing Doom in the car. It blows my mind that we're at a point technologically where that can actually happen. And it happens in a form factor that's basically the same size as the power supply from the PS3 Slim. Like, holy shit. There's just so many minor improvements that I want to see made. I would love to see a Switch XL, smaller bezels. I'd love to see an OLED screen. The battery in this thing is surprisingly small. I'd love to see at least like a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in it. That'd be great if you could manage that. There's some other design quirks I don't like about it, like the fact that the charger port's soldered to the board. That's just laziness, Nintendo. It's like the memory is a module that you can replace, but the charging port is not. But the charging port you're so much more likely to destroy. I don't get the logic behind that decision, but yeah, I mean, all in all, the Switch, if we could get a dock, that does like 4K output, or at least has a video scaler in it to where it'll blow up something from like 900p to 1080p and do a pretty decent job at it, I'd be happy with that. I mean, all in all, the Switch is a very versatile, fun console. And we've gotten over a lot of that first adopter huddle. And now we're kind of in it for the long haul, and we're kind of seeing Nintendo's strategy, especially with things like Nintendo Labo, however you pronounce it. I'm excited for that. I don't care what anyone says. It's innovative, and I love seeing the way Nintendo's playing and getting ideas out there and being innovative, because that's what they did with the Wii. That's one reason why the Wii sold as good as it did. And there's some good games that came out on the Wii. Some good shooters. Donkey Kong Smash Brothers was on the Wii. There's a lot of good games on that system. Most of it's shovelware, but there are some gems. And we're getting to that point with the Switch, where there's a crap ton of Neo Geo arcade games, who cares? But there's a lot of good games on here too. And if this is what the first year of the Switch is gonna look like, imagine what year 5 is gonna look like. Holy shit. There is nowhere to go but up from here. And I'm so excited. But there needs to be a hardware revision that needs to address some of these things. Give us like a 64 gig base option. That'd be great. With like a 5,000, 6,000 milliamp hour battery, slightly bigger screen. And I'd be okay with that. I'm hearing a lot of rumors about a Switch Mini that has the Joy-Cons kind of integrated and no dock. I mean, I could see Nintendo going that as a replacement for the 3DS. But I don't know, like, detaching the Joy-Cons is such an iconic part of the experience, you know? It'd be like getting an iPhone that doesn't have lightning. It's just weird. But yeah, that's all I just really wanted to sit down and talk about the Switch, because it's been kind of bothering me seeing people talk about it and being like, oh, it's just more of the same, blah, blah. But then on the other hand, so many people have bought it, but the haters are always gonna hate, you know? But yeah, that's my point of view on the Switch. This is probably gonna be a really weird, rambly bastard of a video, so I apologize. Leave a like down below if I actually managed to get my point across okay, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from me in the future. I hate begging for likes and subscribes, but so if you could do that anyway, so that way I don't have to beg for it, I'd appreciate it. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers by 2019, guys. Yeah, leave comments down below. What's your favorite Switch game so far? What are you looking forward to in the future? I'm thinking of checking out Monster Hunter. It looks good. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Most excited to play Super Metroid on my Switch, though. I don't know why Super Metroid specifically. I would probably prefer Metroid Zero Mission, if we're gonna be frank. Super Metroid's good and all, but I prefer the engine for Zero Mission. But topic for another day. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video before I start rambling about Virtual Console. God, that could be a video all in of itself. Let me know if you want me to talk about that. With that said, I will see you guys around.